Hello there, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for one of our weekly AT&T webinars here. I'm Sam, and I moderate these weekly presentations. And in just a second, we're going to be joined by Patrick Ray. Patrick is going to be giving you some answers to the more frequently asked questions we receive weekly from other AT&T employees about their AT&T pension, and many questions surrounding that. And while he is speaking to you, I'll be entering some links. You're going to see them pop up on your screen. They're going to guide you to some valuable resources, we believe, in our opinion. One of them is a link to our calendar where you can get on one of our AT&T focused financial advisors calendars to speak to them. Complimentary, of course, and they can answer any questions or concerns that you may have. Another is a link to our YouTube and our LinkedIn. Please follow us on both of those platforms. We post many pieces of content for AT&T employees weekly. We really think you'd find value in that. So please give us a follow. And lastly, I would just like to remind you, we are not affiliated nor endorsed whatsoever by AT&T. We are a completely independent group of financial advisors here. So please keep that in mind as you're listening along. And without further ado, let's jump right into it with Patrick Ray.
Hello and welcome to the AT&T Pension Question and Answer session on how interest rates affect your take-home. My name is Patrick Ray. I'm one of the senior advisors here with the Retirement Group, and we appreciate your attention this afternoon. We've got a lot of good questions here that we're going to discuss, and so without further ado, we're going to get into it. So question number one, someone told me to wait until next year to get my lump sum. Is that right? Well, first and foremost, this is a great question, and the answer is it technically depends. The reality is if you're looking to pull the most money out of the company and you feel like the lump sum is the best suited decision for you and your family, as it turns out, the interest rates for 2024 have been, while the first quarter was going up, steadily decreasing. And as we speak today, they are significantly lower than when they were established in November of 2023. And so for those of you who are considering taking the lump sum and who is or have already left the payroll in this particular tax year, I would absolutely recommend that you wait until January of next year because it's going to add some money to your pocket. Your pension value is going to go up if interest rates stay the same. And that's simply because the interest rates as we speak are significantly lower than when they were set for the 2024 tax year in November of 2023. So hopefully that answers that question. Good question. Question number two, I don't really see a change in my lump sum like others do. Why is that? Well, the answer is it depends, and it depends on which plan applies to you because the pension plans are different from AT&T to Mobility to Legacy people and Legacy S and Legacy T people. And so technically it depends. And so if you aren't from the Legacy S side, which is our SBC people for the most part, the interest rate is not going to have the same impact on your lump sum as it does the Legacy S people. And so in that scenario, it gives you some flexibility to not necessarily be concerned about what a given interest rate is doing to the values of your pension. And you can just make the decision for what's best for you and your family based on current data. The interest rates are, whatever. And the reality is you're going to retire. If you need that money to help support your income for the rest of your life, then you would be able to act accordingly as to what decision on the pension value to take. But hopefully that helps explain a little bit about why your values are different. And the reality is you have a head start on the timing of when you leave the payroll, because if the impact of the interests and the interest rates specifically don't impact or change your lump sum values by all that much, then you can make an informed decision what's best for you and your family about when to leave the payroll, knowing that the impact of your decision is really not going to be detrimented or benefited in much of any way, either good or bad. Question number three, what happens if interest rates drop significantly in the future? Should I delay my retirement to take advantage of a potential increase in my lump sum? So this is a really good question, and similar to question number one. Look, your goal, if you have decided to take the lump sum, is to leave in the lowest interest rate environment possible. Period. End of story. So if you're in an environment where the interest rates are reducing and going down and they're dropping significantly, then absolutely you would want to wait and delay your retirement so that you could take advantage of an increase in the value of your lump sum. Because remember, these things have an inverse relationship to one another. So when the interest rates go up, you lose money. Your pension value goes down. But when the interest rates go down, like is assumed in this question here, the values of your pensions are going to rise. And so if you're looking to remove the most capital from your company when you decide to retire and the interest rates are dropping significantly, I would recommend that you delay your retirement to the greatest degree you can, because it would put more money in your pocket, that's for sure. Question number 4, should I be worried about how Federal Reserve decisions on interest rate impact the value of my pension? Look, I'd be lying to you if I said you shouldn't be worried. You should be concerned regardless of what happens, right? Because the interest rate has an impact on your livelihood forever. So the lower the interest rate is, the more money you get. And the higher the interest rate is, the less money you get. And so I'd be lying if I said you shouldn't be concerned about what the Federal Reserve is doing. And typically, if they reduce rates, it impacts the ultimate rate that's applied to most plans, which is either the corporate side on the segment side or a myriad of different interest rate related type discussions. But the reality is you don't have to be hyper focused, I don't think, on what the Federal Reserve is doing, but understand that there is a correlation that might have a lagging indicator as to if the Federal Reserve's lower interest rate in a given environment. It may take some time for that to catch up to what the values in your pension plans are meaning. But in the end, it's a good question, and I think you should be concerned and certainly aware to the level that you're comfortable with. That's for sure. Okay, so hopefully that answered and touched on the questions that we had for the Q&A for today's session. And in the end, what this basically boils down to is the importance or significance of having a retirement plan. Because if you don't have one, you're fighting an uphill battle, to say the least, right? Because you have really no gauge for the impact of what inflation does and what the need for your income means to your portfolio under certain rates of return and certain stress environments. And the reality is you're not alone. 74% of people over the age of 50 don't have a written financial plan. And there's really no need for that, folks. The reality is we do it for free. We do it as a complimentary service to show you what impact we could make to you and your family if you think we're a good fit and we might end up working together at some point. But in the end, there's no reason for you to not have a written financial plan, because firms like ours do it as a way to introduce their services to you. Now, we get this question often, which is, what about the retirement group? Well, we have a ton of experience on the team all across the country with offices that help people transition from an employee to a retiree. And this is literally one of the most important financial decisions that you'll ever have to make. And so we certainly don't want to be naive to have known all of the data and things that you might think you know, but you don't, and that's what we're here to help fill in those gaps and those voids. And so because of our knowledge with the savings plans and the pension plans that you have and how they're calculated and what these interest rates mean to you and all that kind of stuff, we think it's a significant step for you to take to look for a partner in retirement. And of course, that's what we're here to do. So we offer a complimentary cash flow analysis in an effort to do that. And so if you're open to or interested in scheduling a meeting, you can reach out to us in a number of ways. You can email us at info@theretirementgroup.com. You can call us at 800-900-5867. You can take a picture of this QR code to the left, and it will give you access to a calendar where you can meet with myself or any one of my colleagues to help get your questions answered and talk further about what retirement looks like for you and your family. And then if you're not already following us on our LinkedIn page, please do so. We have an AT&T specific LinkedIn page that gives you all the current updates about not just interest rates and interest rate environment and pension discussions and taxes and how all these things could potentially impact you and your overall family's decision to make one of the most important financial decisions that you will ever have to make. So with that said, hopefully we answered your questions, and hopefully you found some value in spending some time with us this afternoon. So we appreciate that. And we will let you go for the afternoon. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, we'll see you.